Hello everyone, in today's short video, this is about the Orange Pi 5 single board computer with the Armbian operating system. I was having some problems a couple of days back. I didn't have time to really test it out, but today I did test it out. I tested it out for about 2 hours and I didn't have a crash. And before this, I was having a crash almost every maybe 10 to 30 minutes when I was using this operating system with the Orange Pi 5. And I found out why it was crashing. The reason why it was crashing was because I put in a USB flash drive in the USB 3.0 port. For some reason, I think this operating system, not the operating system, the Orange Pi 5 thinks that it's gonna boot from the USB 3.0 port, and it can't boot from the USB 3.0 port, and it could also boot from the micro SD card slot as well, and it also boots from the M.2 NVMe slot. So I think it was like kind of like confusing it or something when I had the USB 3.0 flash drive in it. So I figured out the problem yesterday, because when it restarted, it tried to restart into Armbian, but it wouldn't. It would hang somehow. It wouldn't go into the Armbian operator. I had the same problem with my my other X64 computer, and that sometimes when I put something into the USB port, like a flash drive, it wouldn't boot, right? It just kept hanging. So I kind of figured that was a problem. So when I took the USB flash drive out of my X64 computer, it would boot up normally. And now for this one, it doesn't crash anymore ever since I did that. Maybe it's just for this operating system. It might be different for Ubuntu or Orange Pi's Linux first operating system or something. It may be different. But for this one, it seems to have a problem with that when you plug in something into the USB 3.0 port. I plugged in a flash drive into the USB 2.0 port, didn't have a problem with that. So just the USB 3.0 port with this operating system. I didn't have a problem with this when I was using Batacera or when I was using Android 12. I didn't have that problem. It was just with this operating system I had that problem. So I was able to run this stably for about an hour and 30 minutes and it didn't crash. It remained pretty stable. I first thought it was good. The problem was because of swap memory, but that's not the case. It didn't really use up a lot of swap memory. This is a 4 GB version of the Orange Pi PC, and it didn't have that problem. Besides, it's not even using. It didn't even use that much swap memory. The swap memory is when it's using the storage memory for in place of RAM or something. Kind of like RAM disk, like you used to have back in the MS-DOS days. So that wasn't the case. It just, even though it wasn't using any swap memory, it was still crashing. But now it doesn't crash. It runs pretty stably. I mean, it runs pretty stable now. That's what I wanted to share with you today. And thanks for watching.